Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with me again in this channel. Thank you so much for joining. So, guys, I want you guys to actually relax, grab your popcorn, and hear this shocking experience for this shocking story why Buhari really invited Boko Haram to Nigeria. So, guys, what? And people are asking, could a former president of Nigeria really have helped Boko Haram rise? What if I told you there's a growing theory claiming that Muhammad Buhari did not just fail to stop Boko Haram, he allegedly invited them in. Stick around as we let me just unpack this jaw-dropping allegation. I want you guys to just stick around with me. Now, the they ask the question is, who is Buhari and who is what? Boko Haram. Mohammed Buhari, former military ruler turned elected civilian president 2015 to 2023, came into power promising to crush Boko Haram, right? Boko Haram is a radical Islamic terrorist group that emerged in the northern Nigeria in the early 20s. By 2014 to 2015, they were among the world deadliest terrorist group. Under Jonathan's administration, Boko Haram gained ground, but Buhari campaigned strongly on ending their terror. But Buhari did not just fight Boko Haram. Buhari did not fight Boko Haram. He facilitated their return. Everything points to a bigger hidden plan. Like he did not even fight them at all. He even facilitated them coming the more. They were coming in groups into Nigeria. Now, the explosive claim, did Buhari really invite Boko Haram into Nigeria? So Buhari got into power. Boko Haram fighters were allegedly given soft landings instead of being captured or executed. He refers to alleged reintegration of repentant Boko Haram members into society under Buhari as a cover-up to plant them back into what communities. This, we are criticizing about the federal government de-radicalization program, saying that they were a smoke screen for recruitment and what infiltration. I will show you guys a video of what one man said about Buhari, how Buhari invited Boko Haram to Nigeria. But before that, I want to tell you that some top security appointments were allegedly skewed toward one part of the country, which people are saying that it's a strategy to shoot what Boko Haram sympathize. Now, let us talk about the evidence or lack of it. Now, some documents or court testimony, they rely on patterns in Buhari's what appointment, alleged preferential treatment of the northeast, reduction in military offensive after a few initial world victories. Now, critics argue that it's mostly based on speculation, interpretation, and not what verified for fact. Now, this is the balanced viewpoint. During Buhari's first year, Nigeria reclaimed 90% of Boko Haram was territory. He bought military jets, strengthened the Nigerian army, and cooperated with Chad, Niger, and Cameroon on joint counter terrorism. Now, this is just the fact. Let me break it down for you guys. So let us know what is true in this video. So the radicalization of Boko Haram, was it true? Yes, it happened. Now, critics are saying that it's a betrayal, which is a lie. That is just the thing. So, military success, Buhari regained lost territory, and that is the truth. And many people are saying that Boko Haram was not completely what wiped out. Now, appointment of northerners, was it really true? Yes, skewed toward the north. Now, what is most misleading here? People are saying that that alone does not prove Boko Haram what sympathy. What is really the unknown? Whether it helped Boko Haram infiltrate what systems. Now, what I'm telling you guys about all these things is because this video I'm telling you guys, it reflects to the anger and suspicion of many Nigerians, especially from the middle belt and the south. Citizens are asked, why were Boko Haram members given what amnesty? Others wonder why were southern security leaders sidelined. Whether or not the claim is true, the lack of transparency in Buhari's dealing with terrorism left room for conspiracy. So did Buhari actually invite Boko Haram into Nigeria, or is this just a twisted narrative born from frustration and mistrust? Either way, the people deserve answer. Guys, what do you think? I want you guys to actually drop your comment below. Do you really think that yes, Buhari really knew what he did, that he guys, the many people were saying that the government branded it to be a de-radicalized program. Many Nigerians saw it as an insult to victims of terrorism. These same ex-fighters were sometimes placed in civilian communities with no what proper monitoring. Now, how do you forgive a man who bombed your village, killed your family, and now lies beside you, protected by the government? How do you forgive such a man? A man who comfortably bombed your village, killed your family, and now lives beside you is being protected by the government. Do you really think you can forgive such a man? No. Why was the military allegedly held back? Critics argue that Buhari's administration slowed down military offensives against Boko Haram after early war victories. Some Nigerian soldiers anonymously claimed they were poorly equipped, unpaid, and muzzled from speaking out. Certain operations allegedly delayed reinforcements that could have saved soldiers in ambushes, raising further suspicions. Now, the Chibok, the Dapchi, and the repeat pattern theory. The Chibok girls' abduction in 2014 occurred before Buhari came into power, but during Buhari's tenure, Dapchi girls 2018 were kidnapped in a similar fashion and later returned with ease. Interestingly, one girl called Lee Sharibu, I'm sure you guys must have heard of her because there was a time her mother came out and was celebrating her birthday. I don't even think that girl has even been able to. Now, look at the story. Interestingly, one girl, Lee Sharibu, was held back, allegedly refusing to convert to Islam. Her continued captivity under Buhari raised ethnic and what religious was concerned. So this created a pattern that seemed too suspicious to be a coincidence. Were this kidnapping a bargaining chip? Northern agenda allegation, real or manufactured. Many certain voices accuse Buhari of promoting a Northern Islamic agenda, given his security chiefs were almost all from the north. Appointments in NMPC, customs, and DSS were dominated by Northerners. Northern leaders claimed this was weaponizing governance to favor one region. That is it. So Boko Haram splits and internal games. Under Buhari, Boko Haram splits into two factions. One led by Abubakar Shekar, brutal and unrepentant. Another one was ISWAP, more organized and allegedly more was negotiable. This is I'm telling you guys, it suggests Buhari's government may have been more lenient toward ISWAP, possibly due to secret negotiation or indirect alliances. Now, the camouflage of intelligence failure or silent support. Despite Nigeria having the DSS, NSA, and NIA, Boko Haram movement often went undetected. How could hundreds of terrorists travel in convoys, abduct girls, or attack barracks without being noticed? Some argue it was a deliberate intelligence failure, not incompetence. Either they knew and they did nothing, or they didn't even know, and that's even the worst. The electoral manipulation using insecurity. In 2015 and 2019 election, there were allegations that insecurity in the northeast reduced voter turnout in opposition strongholds. This will have skewed results in Buhari's favor, especially as the northwest turned out massively. The religious bias allegation. Buhari's government was accused of treating Islamist groups like Boko Haram and Fulani bandits softly, while reacting harshly to IPOB. So the Igbo and other Southern groups. Many Southerners see this as a religious favoritism and double standard. A terrorist in the north is a repentant, but a protector in the east is a threat to national security. Does this make sense? International reactions and silence. While Buhari was praised abroad for his anti-corruption and anti-terror stance, some international observers were confused by the handling of Boko Haram. Human rights groups questioned why Boko Haram suspects weren't thoroughly tried or imprisoned, even after mass surrenders. The US and UK gave intelligence support, but later reduced aid over human rights abuse concerns. Victims forgotten, no justice, no compensation. Victims of Boko Haram attack, especially in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, still live in IDP camps with little help. Families of murdered soldiers, civilians got no closure as many Boko Haram members were pardoned and reintegrated. The mass burial of soldiers with no clear explanation added to the rage. Imagine your brother died fighting Boko Haram and the same people who killed him are now free, walking past your house like nothing happened. It's so bad. Do you understand? It's a very bad something. Somebody killed their brother, and all of a sudden the people who killed their brother, you will see them walking across your streets, or you just see them, they are your neighbors, and nothing is being done about it. The government is also, let's arrest them, and the government are really aware, these people are the Boko Haram that many Nigerians are really complaining about. The silent recruitment theory. There were whispers that some security officers were quietly sympathizing with Boko Haram, even helping them avoid capture. In some areas, soldiers allegedly abandoned checkpoint hours before Boko Haram struck. This, and I'm telling you guys, might not have been a concept, but it's a sign of inside help. Communities deserted while terrorists thrived. Entire towns in Borno, Yobo were emptied, yet Boko Haram stayed there freely. IDPs lived in hunger and poverty, yet Boko Haram members were seen with new weapons and vehicles. This double standard fed the belief that some powerful was backing them from above. That someone powerful was actually backing them from above. Boko Haram wives were even given protection. During Buhari's rule, there were reports of wives and children of terrorists receiving food, medical care, and shelter. If you guys can remember, the news went viral. We heard that some of these terrorists' wives, they were receiving shelter, they were receiving medical care and health. And people were like, why is it like that? Meanwhile, orphans of victims and widows of soldiers were abandoned. This imbalance caused many to ask, who are we really protecting here? Victims' families were muzzled. Families of slain soldiers and civilians were reportedly warned not to speak to the press. Some said they were threatened or silenced, especially when they demanded answers. Instead of justice, they got silence, rejection, and what shame. The DSS knew but did nothing. Nigerian Secret Police DSS has eyes everywhere, yet major attacks still happen. Suicide bombers walked into shops, market, and mosques without interception. People began to ask, how can these things happen under a tight security network? Unless someone at the top really allowed it. Let's follow the money, like who benefited all this money. The war in terror became a business for some insiders. Huge defense budget passed with little oversight. Military contracts awarded to friends of politicians, ghost soldiers, non-existent troops padded the army payroll. While Boko Haram killed people, others got rich in the name of fighting them. Sudden surrenders with repentance on a due. Boko Haram commanders who once bombed cities suddenly surrendered, smiling for cameras. People asked, was this the real repentance or did they strike a secret deal to save themselves? This I'm telling you guys hints that Buhari government may have traded justice for silence. Fulani bandits and Boko Haram, are they really connected? This is a question many people have been asking. Under Buhari, new groups emerged like the Fulani bandits, heavily armed and terrorizing farms and highways. Many Nigerians saw a link between them and Boko Haram, saying same tactics, same weapons, same lack of punishment. Yet Buhari's administration refused to label them as terrorists for years. Escaped Boko Haram leaders. How? Some top Boko Haram leaders escaped from prison or disappeared from custody. For example, in major jailbreak, high-profile suspect vanished, raising alarms but high-level conclusion. This made the public wonder who opened the door for those people. Now, what is Buhari's silence on key attacks? After deadly attacks like the Zabara massacre, farmers beheaded, Buhari remained silent for days. His slow response caused anger. Victims' families saw it as a sign that the government did not care. This thing I'm telling you guys sees the silence as proof of indifference, or was silence for approval. So the unprotected borders, a gateway for terror. Boko Haram bandits and arms reportedly entered Nigeria from Niger, Chad, Cameroon. Yet Buhari's government failed to properly secure these borders. Some claim that this was intentional to allow terrorist allies in without detection. The North clerks who supported violence went unpunished. Some controversial Northern clerks were accused of preaching hate, encouraging youth to rise against the state, yet were never arrested. Meanwhile, southern voices like Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, and Sowore were harshly dealt with. This showed clear double standard under Buhari's rule. Terrorism did not end, it evolved. Under Buhari, Boko Haram rebranded as ISWAP, bandits multiplied, and killings became a daily news item. Despite promises, Nigeria never returns to true peace. The video suggests that this may have been part of a longer game and not a failure. Officers who tried to expose corruption or Boko Haram cover-up were transferred, retired early, or arrested. This shows the system was built to hide the truth and not to actually fix the problem. So guys, I want you guys to listen to this video and hear what these people have to say concerning Buhari and how Buhari invited Boko Haram to Nigeria. And I'll be right back to emphasize more on what's really happening in Nigeria and the reason why Buhari brought these people to attack Nigeria. Because immediately Buhari left, the Boko Haram now had to rebrand themselves to ISWAP. And it is actually suspicious, right?
Let me first of all say
I'll be right back.
That the idea of bringing people from outside the country to destabilize wasn't, I didn't say they brought people to destabilize. What I said was that the idea, they actually brought people into the country with the intention that those people will come and vote for them. I think you understand? And they never realized, they never knew, they were never convinced that they were going to win that election. because PDP was very, very strong on ground. So the fear was that they were going to lose the election. So the only thing they could do was to bring in people who could serve as mercenaries to come and win elections for them through the back door. But when the new PDP came on board and joined them and form the APC and won the election, they didn't know what to do with those people. And in the process, those people became uncontrollable.
Say that the security problem here is created by the federal government. The day that they want the insecurity to finish, you see, it will end. I insist that it's federal government. They wanted to arrest Kanu. Did they not arrest him? They wanted to arrest Iboho. Where is he now? Is he not running away? Yeah. So if they want to end banditry and kidnappings and all that occasioned by Fulani people, it will be done. Why is the Fulani own exception? Why are they not arresting them? And they are everywhere. Everybody knows where they are. So the day that the presidency and the federal government want insecurity to end in this country, it will end.
Nigeria imports terrorists from all over the world. Right now, there are more than 5 terrorist groups that operate in the country today. Ansaru is in Nigeria. El-Shabaab is in Nigeria. Mieti Allah operates in Nigeria. Fulani bandits operate in Nigeria. Fulani herders that have been named the 4th deadliest terrorist group in the world by the Global Terrorist Watch of West Africa. These terrorist groups operate in Nigeria, and the government of Nigeria provides an enabling environment for them to try, for them to do their bidding. They provide them with logistics, money, arms, and then they send them to the eastern region of Nigeria to kill my people and to destabilize the region. That is their goal. And that's exactly what they're doing now.
Get angry with this thing if you not get away. There is a proverb in my place that if you have rashes on your buttocks and you are covering it, the thing will continue to fester. But when you expose it, shame will allow you to stay there, it will go away. Why is it that each time Tinubu want to address this, he will not mention names? You may not till now, Tinubu does not know who is causing this problem in Nigeria. Up till now, they don't know. Up till now, they don't know. They don't call them out. I expected Tinubu to call all the Fulani leaders, to call their people to order. That is the way to go. Buhari is there. He knows all these things. He kept quiet. If Nigerians were to be killing Fulani the way they are killing other people, would Buhari talk? Esther, would Buhari talk? They kept quiet because they are the one killing other people. You have all the statements they have made concerning Benue especially, telling Benue people they must do this before peace can reign. Imagine terrorists giving condition in Nigeria where Tinubu is the president.
He said so because we killed 200 people in Benue State, and so what? Is that why you people are crying and complaining? You are going to You are going to social media to complain. What you saw is just small. People have been writing that you will chase Fulani out of Benue State.
Yeah, that's what is rubbish.
But now you are the ones crying. How many of our cows were killed? How many of our people were killed in the bushes and in their Ruga settlements that you are crying over the killing of mere 200 people? So what? You have not seen anything yet.
Almighty.
I can kill 150 for one of my cows killed. For me, it's an eye for an eye. If you offend me, I don't wait. I take my vengeance immediately. I have stopped thinking twice. I don't forgive or forget. You do me, I revenge as a Fulani of the forest. Killing a human being who offends me or kills my cow is nothing to me. There is no killing that is difficult for me to carry out to avenge my cow or any wrong done to me. We have not even started, and you people are crying already. You will soon see what we are going to do.
He even added something.
Yes,
he said the Fulanis are not government. He said Fulanis are not government. Maybe if government doesn't want to take action, they themselves, they don't waste time. Esther, thank God you are reading this thing now. Nigerians, you can see what we are talking about. You can see. I told him the true story. That is farmer header class. What kind of farmer header class?
They are still running with that narrative.
Can you just imagine? All because the president said it himself. That is farmer header class.
Marcelante, did you know that 11 states, because of the resurgence and in killing spree across the nation, 11 states are taking steps to commence ranching as a way to address the age-long violent clashes.
That is not the problem. I told you here, that thing will not work. Esther, even if you give these people a sort of to rear their cattle, they will not agree. That is not what they want. I told Tinubu here when they started this cattle whatever ranch. it will not work. That's not what.
Are you sure? But the states that are ready to commence the ranking are Lagos. Wait, listen, Lagos, Plateau, Ondo, Zamfara, Bauchi, Delta, Niger, Kano, Jigawa, Nasarawa, and Anambra states. They said the development comes against the surge in killings in Benue and Plateau communities linked to armed headers because of the killings of over 200 persons last week. So, Barrister, this ranching has been something that has been touted since the administration of Muhammadu Buhari. But the fear is that when you give these guys, these individuals, opportunities to ranch, they take over the settlements.
Have I not told you that that's not what they want?
So what
Listen very well.
Okay.
During Buhari, when they were pretending to gullible Nigeria that they want to solve the problem, Niger State said they should come and all the land, whatever they need, they provide it. It happened. I discussed it. The Kano State said they should come if they are looking for land. But that was the first thing they started making noise that they need land, no place. Kiniko. I said, look at these people, pretenders. Esther, they are, at least Niger State is on the temperate region. It's not in the desert or whatever. So whatever you want to do there, Esther, Niger State is the size of the entire Southwest. Can you just imagine? South, come. Esther, did they listen to them? Did they listen to them? I'm asking you. So if land is their problem, this one that they are offered to them on a platter of gold. Kogi State did the same thing. Kogi State is the size of the entire Southeast, Esther. I hope you are listening to me.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Kogi State is the size of the entire Southeast of 5 states. So what land are you looking for you cannot find in this place, Esther? Please tell me. Tell me. Is the Kogi State in the desert? No, tell me. To tell you that these people are pretenders, I can use it to build a new city for Fulanis. So that whether you're a Fulani man from the moon, from the outer space, from wherever, from inner Mongolia, outside Mongolia, if you enter Nigeria, you go there. Since they are your people, you can be comfortable there without any problem. Esther, I made that suggestion here. That Buhari have the opportunity, since they listen to him, go and do this. You have enough land to rehabilitate these people. Esther, did anybody listen to me? No. Hey. So why do you think that this ranching, what are you talking about? The agenda is temple. Look at what somebody said with his mouth. Only not for what he did. They almost killed the autumn in the same Benue, a governor, elected governor, and they came out to tell you how they did it. Yet no arrest was made, Esther, no arrest. Oh my, look, look, you see these people, the way they are doing this, they will cause problem, Esther. I'm not joking. No. Collect their village, collect their farmland, and rename the village. The most annoying thing from Nigeria, at least the security chief have told us so. They said that these people are not prepared. So what are you doing? Esther, what are they doing? You can see how Tinubu is going to win 2027, Abi. That you allow people to come into Nigeria and be killing Nigerians, and you want those Nigerians to come and vote for you in 2027. How can that be? Esther, how can that be? With this level of insecurity, Tinubu is still campaigning for 2027. Is it possible? No, tell me, is it possible? These are the things that make other leaders in other countries resign from office. You don't need to be told. You don't resign on your own because you have failed. You have failed. How can you go for
ranching be established in their own home base?
I am telling you.
When you set up a ranching facility, water, the feedstock, everything is provided there by the state government. I'm sorry to say, I know that everyone has the freedom to move from one location to the other. Must they reside in other cities, in other states?
Esther, look,
do they have to travel across board?
Look, discussing this matter is very annoying on its own.
No, we have to, Barrister Darlington, because tomorrow you hear of another killing. You can hear one of them who came on social media to boast. I'm expecting that the DSS will drill these individuals and not just go and catch innocent Nigerians because the president has given you a timeline. Without proper security, Barrister Darlington, your economy will definitely not thrive. That one is for sure. And not with the external situation going on now with Israel, Iran, the US. Obviously, we know that Nigeria relies heavily on import. We import a lot of things. So if anything happens, that there's going to be a constraint in be a constraint be a constraint in a disbursing of crude oil or having to import crude oil. There's a volatility in the country. So can we actually afford any of this particular misdemeanor? Can we afford it? What is the immediate solution? Imagine you're advising the president. What should be applied to curtail this? This is wrong. This is bad.
When a man does not want your advice, what he's doing is his mind. Tinubu is after 2027.
You cannot say so.
I said
if you don't have a people, if you don't have a people, what's 2027?
It doesn't matter. 2 people can vote him into office. Two people.
It's not possible.
Apparently,
Nigerians to allow that.
Are you serious? Look at what he said in Benin. Does it mean that Tinubu wants to solve this problem?
They kept saying that he doesn't have the political will to resolve this.
Okay. Am I lying?
So the resurgence has become so incessant. According to them, they feel that there are certain elements who are in the opposition, or certain persons who are not happy with him, who have decided to create this, they call it a facade of insecurity, so that it will seem like the president is incapable of actually resolving insecurity, which would be a major issue for him in terms of accumulating trust for his recampaign in 2027. Now my question is, if the presidency has realized that indeed there are certain persons whom we don't know, but maybe they know, that are actually trying to defame his administration, is this not an opportunity to take decisive action? Call out this, I'm sure with your security intelligence, what is the fear of calling these individuals out? What is the fear of publicly prosecuting them? If there is any inkling that an individual is named as the one who is galvanizing, why not call them out? Why are you afraid? What is the fear?
Esther, God works in a wonderful way. Initially in this country, did they not tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is the problem of Nigeria? Insecurity. In fact, if any husband and wife are fighting in Sokoto, is Nnamdi Kanu. If 2 farmers are quarreling in Zamfara, is Nnamdi Kanu and the Igbo people. Is that not what they were telling you here? Now, the truth has come out here, they cannot do anything. Esther, what does that tell you? Were you not here when they were everything is IPOB? Everything is IPOB. Is that not true? Even the answers that the youth came together to challenge police brutality, it was Nnamdi Kanu. Is that not true? Now that these ones have exposed themselves as the real reason for this insecurity, what has anybody done? Esther, please tell me.
It's actually the local security outfits.
Have you seen the military parade these people before the public? But you saw how they humiliated Nnamdi Kanu when they brought him from Kenya on handcuff at the airport.
Another situation has also happened in Benue, where gunmen actually hijacked a Benue Link Nigeria Limited bus, kidnapped the passengers on board. So the command's public relations officer, DSP Udeme Edet, confirmed the development in a statement. He said the incident occurred on Sunday evening. He stated that 1 passenger later escaped from the abductors, and that additional reinforcement has been sent to the location to locate other passengers as soon as possible. And the bus management themselves also confirmed the attack and the kidnapping. The attack occurred around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday at Eke Elengbecho in Opoku local government area of Benue State. The vehicle, which departed Abeokuta with 12 passengers and the driver, was later discovered by the roadside at Eke with some of the passengers' luggage. However, the driver and 11 of the passengers were missing. Now, Barrister Darlington, the reason why we keep on hammering on this is this will create fear and panic for Nigerians to travel interstate and go and conduct their businesses, especially into such axes like you have the north or even the north central with the volatility. The U.S. Embassy just recently gave a warning saying that their people should not visit government facilities and also their embassies, saying that for now, based on the security situation, the security volatility, they want them to stay away from government buildings, stay away from any of the agencies, any of the government agencies and military barracks. I mean, for them to come up with this advisory, is that something they know that we do not know in Abuja?
Of course. Our security informations are in their hands. They have it at their palm. Unfortunately, when they advise government, they will not take action. They cannot tell me that the foreign government are not giving them intel on what is going on. At least the list they gave them from UAE yesterday. How many years now? How many years now since that list was given to the federal government of Nigeria? The same Malami who received it as the Attorney General under Buhari, he's the one that came out now. He sat on that list. He didn't do anything. He's the one that came out now and told us how in Kebbi State how people were killed there.
200 of them in his constituency.
I said, look at a man. Look at Esther. Look at what we are talking about.
Barrister,
and you are telling me that I should listen to such a man.
Barrister, I missed the calls for this. I don't know if you listened to the political spotlight yesterday. I tried to do a playback of an interview that Dele Momodu did with Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently.
I listened to
someone. I think 4 or 5 years ago. And based on the resurgence of insecurity, some of the permutations and the statements he made at the time are now really being thought about and being deeply considered. Some persons are calling him a prophet, the man who saw tomorrow, and all whatnot. But a couple of logical analysts who have been following security trends in Nigeria for the past 15 years now said it was something that was very easy for anybody to properly understand. And you know, if you're very observant, if you go with the indices, if you go with the history, the historical pattern of these individuals and the coming into government of Muhammadu Buhari with what we heard about his person and what the plan was all about, so it was kind of easy for those who paid keen observation to security and its trends to make such a prediction. Although at the time when Nnamdi Kanu was vehement about all of those expressions, he was called all manner of names. Some called him a rabid person. They say he was insane. They say that he was hostile, wanted to just cause conflict in Nigeria and all whatnot. Now, if you're beginning to see some of the statements made to be a reality now, what would you consider should be the focus of this government to truncate all of those ideologies or supposed conspiracy theories then that seems to be a reality now?
In the first place, they should release the name Nnamdi Kanu and apologize to him. Because did I not tell her that when you see something, say something? Is that not true? That when you have intelligence, you should. Didn't the guy release the information he had to the federal government? Was it arrested?
Melaifa Obadaya also said something about this. He exposed quite a lot of things, and the next thing, we did not even know what happened. I think he passed on.
He died of COVID.
Major General Adeniyi James, one of them who was.
So you guys have listened to what Barrister Danity said, right, about the insecurity in the land, because they keep wondering, why is the Fulani herdsmen, you know, they are being protected, they carry their cattle, the government are seeing it, but they are not saying anything about it, right? Why is Buhari always protecting them? Now, this was the question people were asking. Why was IPOB tagged a terrorist group before Fulani bandits or Boko Haram? The Buhari government quickly branded IPOB as a terrorist group, even though they hadn't carried out the bombings or mass killings. Meanwhile, Boko Haram and Fulani bandits who murdered thousands were called unknown gunmen or criminals. This raised big questions like, was IPOB tagged a terrorist group because they are Igbo or because they challenged Buhari's authority? Now, Buhari ignored certain leaders' warning. Certain governors, especially from the East and South, repeatedly warned about rising insecurity. Their demands for state police and security restructuring were ignored by the Buhari regime. It created the feeling that Southern concerns did not matter. No national mourning for Boko Haram victims when high-profile Northerners that Buhari's government declared national mourning flags flew at what half-past, but after massacres in Benue, Plateau, Owo, and Enugu, no national mourning was declared. Victims were buried quietly. People felt they were not important enough. Now, communities left to defend themselves. Many villages in towns in Kaduna State, Benue, Zamfara, and Niger states were abandoned by soldiers, forcing youth to create vigilantes. These vigilantes had no weapons, no funding, no protection. Yes, we are the only ones who were stopping attacks. So what happened to the billions budgeted for national security? Buhari government demoralized the army. Soldiers complained of no salary for months, no quality equipment, no medical care for wounded comrades. I have seen several cases whereby the soldiers came out and were saying that they never cared about them. Even people who wounded during the wars, they didn't even care about them. So soldiers even refused to fight, saying we are being sent to die while our leaders will protect the killers. So allegedly, supply of weapons to terrorists. There were reports that some military trucks were hijacked or diverted and weapons ended up in the hands of terrorists. Was this incompetence or a cover-up? How can AK-47, aero RPGs, drones be in the hands of terrorists while villagers have nothing? Now, Buhari's regime often blocked TV and radio stations from airing protests or insurgency news. If you notice, journalists were arrested for covering Boko Haram atrocity. This was seen as a way to control the story and hide the truth. Now, billions were approved by the National Assembly for security, ammunition, rehabilitation of the. Yet, IDP camps were starving, and the Northeast Development Commission was riddled with corruption, was scandals. So, where did all this money go? All this budget, where did they go to? Why were Boko Haram trials a secret? Unlike public trials for IPOB or ENTAS protests, Boko Haram suspects were tried behind closed doors. Nigerians never saw who was guilty or innocent. Some say this was to hide the names of high-level collaborators. The pattern of terrorist escape. Boko Haram suspects escaped from prison multiple times. These jailbreaks often occurred in Kujum prison, Niger State, and Borno. The public began to suspect that these escapes were staged to set key figures free. Now, religious silence from this presidency. When churches were bombed or priests were killed, Buhari was either silent or was slow to react. Yet, when mosques were attacked, he responded within hours. Many Christians began to ask, are we second-class citizens in our own country, as well as what's being Nigerians? Now, politicians were accused of funding war terror. A few northern politicians were rumored to have ties to Boko Haram, even funding their logistics. Yet, none were publicly tried or convicted during Buhari's 8 years. This created suspicion of cover-ups at the top. Recycled terrorists in government programs, some repeated Boko Haram members ended up in Empower Custom or civil defense interviews. So were caught applying for passports or enlisting in the army. So they were really changed or just repackaged for a mission, for a second mission. All those terrorists in Buhari's regime, they just repackage themselves, coming for the second mission. The psychological damage to citizens. Many of Nigerians now suffer from trauma, paranoia, distrust of what government. Buhari's era left a mental scar, especially on youths who grew up during constant killings, curfews, and fear. Even Buhari supporters later admitted what regret. Some lieutenants who voted Buhari in 2015 and 2019 later cried out and were saying that we were deceived. We voted for change and got changed. The regret was strongest in communities still under attack. Oh, after 8 years of empty words, promises, Buhari's legacy will be haunted by Boko Haram. Even though he tried to leave office with a clean image, most Nigerians associate him with terrorism. Silence. His silence in the face of bloodshed will likely remain the darkest part of his legacy. Nigerians now doubt the idea of one Nigeria. With how Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, and terrorists were handled, many Nigerians no longer will trust the system. People now ask, is this country fair? Is unity possible? Should we even remain one nation? Rise of regional vigilantes, a sign of failure. Groups like the Emetekun in the southwest, Instant Security Network in the southeast, civilian GTF in the northeast emerged because the federal government failed to protect the people. Buhari's failure gave birth to new local armies, which might evolve into future separatist forces. Now, when a government protects the killers and punishes the victims, it is not a government, it's an accomplice. The Buhari era may have ended. Yes, Buhari era may have ended, but the wounds of Boko Haram will remain open. Will Nigeria ever heal? That is even the most thing. Will Nigeria ever heal? Will Nigeria ever forgive Buhari for every misfortune and everything that Buhari has caused Nigerians? Now, selective justice under Buhari. I'll be telling you guys the selective justice under Buhari. Boko Haram killers got what? Rehabilitation. NSAS protests, they got bullets, but they were killed. IPOB activists got prison. This made Nigerians believe justice wasn't just low, it was targeted. The ghost towns of the Northeast, over 20 communities in Borno and Yobe, were completely wiped out by Boko Haram. Years later, they remain ghost towns with no rebuilding plan by Buhari's government. It feels like the government gave up on these people, the scared cows of northern politics. Even when videos surfaced of northern allies speaking softly about Boko Haram, they were untouched. No questioning, no arrest. Nigerians asked, would this happen if it was a southern governor or a senator? Now, Buhari's body language normalized with terror. Many Nigerians say that under Buhari, terror attacks became normal. His slow response, blended statements, and lack of outrage made people feel that life had no value anymore. Why was there no National Truth Commission? After 8 years of bloodshed, no truth, no reconciliation panel was created, no public inquiry into who funded Boko Haram, who gave them weapons, who leaked military intel. The silence means what? Cover up. So repeated Boko Haram got started up grants. Some of the rehabilitated Boko Haram members were allegedly given money, training, and vocal tools. Meanwhile, law-abiding youths were begging for Empower or NYSC laws. So crime pays. Is that what they're telling us in this country? That crime pays. Mass graves with no names. In many villages, victims of attacks were buried in unmarked mass graves. Their deaths were never investigated. No justice, no apology, no compensation. Government played the victim card. When Nigerians asked for justice, Buhari allies often said they are politicizing security. We inherited this mess. It was a way to escape what responsibility, while people were kept dying. The Sabongare and other church massacres. This attack shocked the South. Children blew up. Worshippers slaughtered to the date. No clear arrest, no proper trial, no national apology, just silence. Where did all the arrested Boko Haram suspects go? JSS and military always said we've arrested key commanders, but nobody know their names, no court records, no jail sentence. It's like they just disappeared. Even the military was attacked and abandoned. Boko Haram attacked army bases in Borno and Yobe. Soldiers died, ammunition were seized. Like both the government did not boast reinforcement. Families of soldiers got no closure. Buhari supporters blamed everything on saboteurs. When attacks happened, instead of accepting responsibility, the narrative was enemies of progress, it's PDP fault. But after 8 years, people stopped believing what the excuses. Why was the Northeast still poor despite billions? Buhari created the Northeast Development Commission, that's NEDC, to rebuild areas destroyed by Boko Haram, but the region remained improvised, undeveloped, and broken. Billions were spent, yet nothing to show. Boko Haram flags still flying in some villages, in some Borno towns. Boko Haram raised their flag even during Buhari's presidency. So it's like a challenge. We are still here. The fact that no one removed it showed the failure of sovereignty. Now, what is the physiological damage to IDP children? Thousands of children in the IDP camps, they lost their homes, their parents, their schools, their hope. They grew up watching people killed, raped, and was born. Buhari had no long-term rehabilitation plan. The Gowaza tragedy, a town that was never forgotten. Gowaza was once taken over by Boko Haram. Even when it was recaptured, it became a military zone, not a real community again. These people were turned towards internal refugees. Buhari did not visit many. Buhari did not even visit many attack sites, unlike other presidents who visit disaster sites. Since Buhari never did, he did not visit Owo Church bombing sites. You guys remember when they did that Owo massacre? It was terrible. People really lost their lives in Owo Catholic Church. Now, he did not even visit. He did not also visit Southern massacre victims. He rarely even visited troops. His absence felt like what? An abandonment. Terrorists had better communications than the military. Boko Haram released high-quality propaganda videos regularly. Their logistics, planning, and speed shocked people. Meanwhile, Nigerian soldiers often had no communication gear, no backup, and no food. Terror insurance for politicians, but none for citizens. Governors and ministers had full security convoys. Poor villagers had nothing. It showed that the elite class was protected and the rest were on their own. The Fulani bandits became a protected class, even when bandits kidnapped school children, priests, and pregnant women. Buhari spokesmen avoided calling them terrorists, while southern leaders complained they were accused of hate speech. While farmers left to die in silence, over 70 farmers were slaughtered in Zambara Miri, which is in Borno State. They were tied up and their throats were slit. Buhari waited 3 days to respond. No justice, no national mourning for those people. Boko Haram had safe zones in Sambisa forest. Even after years of airstrike, Sambisa remained untouched. Many asked, was Sambisa scared ground? Why couldn't the military crush it? Nigerians felt like hostage in their own country. Travel became dangerous. Markets were bombed. Churches were attacked. Schools were unsafe. People lived in prisons. People lived like prisoners, not even citizens. The betrayal of the Nigerian constitution. The president's job is to protect lives and properties. Buhari failed this. Many say he broke the social contract between government and the people. Now, many people have been asking, do you think that Nigerians will actually forgive Buhari for everything that he has done in Nigeria and for all the pains we went through in his regime? Now, some may forgive, some may not forgive, because they will be like, by the way, Buhari didn't even mourn the people who were killed in Owo. that Owo Catholic massacre, they will say, by the way, Buhari never even mourned them. He didn't even care. He didn't even come to visit them. So people will be like, oh, why would we even forgive him? Why some may forgive? So Boko Haram paid ransoms while government pretended not to know. Boko Haram, they were paying, so they were giving them ransom, but the government were pretending, oh, they don't know about it. Boko Haram and bandits collected billions in a ransom, yet banks never flagged suspicious transfers. No arrest of middlemen. How were such large funds moved under Buhari's watch without trace? Schools were shut down in the north. Over 600 plus schools closed due to what? Fear of adoption. Millions of children became what? School dropouts. This created a new generation of potential radical recruits, and Buhari said very little. While states were declared no-go zones, even security agencies feared some places in Borno, Katsina, and Zamfara. Governors couldn't visit some local government who was ruling those areas, the president of the Boko Haram. Christian communities felt targeted and abandoned. Church leaders, pastors, seminarians were adopted or killed. Christians in Plateau, Benue, southern Kaduna felt under was religious siege. Buhari never visited, confronted, or compensated these people. No prosecution of known terror supporters. Despite years of intelligence, not a single top politician or sponsor of Boko Haram was publicly jailed. Nigerians began to ask, are some people too powerful to be touched? Because it is exactly that's what is happening in Nigeria now. It's as if there's some people who are too powerful to be touched, that once they commit a crime, they'll be left to go free. These people will be left to go free. They won't even touch them. Nothing will be done to them at all. Is this the kind of country we are living in? Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. You guys have seen that Buhari was actually the person that invited all those people to Nigeria to cause havoc, especially to also make money. That was just their mission. And it's so sad that such a thing is actually happening, honestly. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, turn on the notification button to be getting all the latest news in this channel. You guys are also aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be coming to court on the 18th July 2025, and don't be surprised that it's going to be like people are waiting. UK, USA, all those people are waiting to hear what is going on. Like what is going to happen on that 18th July. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and see you guys in my next live section.